Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Zombies Love Bacon podcast, episode 91. We're dealing with a slight tragedy here. I was asleep today, and a Snorlax broke into my kitchen and trashed the place. And I woke up, and there was just custard everywhere. And when I say everywhere, it was on the cable, it was on the floor, it was on the doors, the walls, the ceiling. On the washing machine, on the shower for some reason. I don't even know. Does anyone know what Snorlax was doing in my house and what he was doing? Because it wasn't me, I swear. And anyone who tries to tell me it was me, you're lying. So I wouldn't do that sort of thing.
You'll definitely come across a lot of creeps.
Where have all these cancelable opinions?
You guys keep boots at 60 feet.
No, it's a picture of my boots.
That's it, that's the title of the podcast.
They're rock hard.
That's great advice.
Welcome on in, Shelby.
Hello.
And back after a week off, Tame.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Hey, Lottie.
Yes.
Why does it look like you're cosplaying as Corey Worthington?
Oh my god.
You guys remember that guy who was like on the news?
Yeah, the
worst
party
in
guy.
Yeah, the glasses and the fucking
Jeez,
hat.
you're showing your age. And like,
They just need to be yellow.
he's an absolute oxygen thief, and people would forget about him if they did keep bringing him up. He's the guy who refused to apologize for throwing an open party on Facebook.
Yeah.
And he went on a current affair, which they paid him good money for too, by the way. And then he
Did
just
they?
yeah, and then he just like
Damn.
refused to apologize. Then he apologized like a year later. He's like, "Yeah, it was a dumb thing. I don't care." That was it.
That's what you look like right now.
Yeah, because the glasses.
Yeah. You had a rough day?
And I throw sick parties like Corey, whatever the fuck his name is.
It just take instead of people at your party, it was just lots and lots of custard.
I wasn't there. That's not me.
Sure you weren't. There's evidence.
No evidence. You can't prove shit. But yeah, no. And for all seriousness, no one broke in. Just my soul broke out and left my body.
I'm really alarmed that your soul likes to dunk his head into a big bowl.
I didn't come up with that as an idea. I don't. We know.
No, hold
hold
the fuck
Whoa.
on, right?
Whoa.
The idea was we want to see you chug custard. You're like, oh, chug, that's the name of a cow who dips his whole head into a bucket of milk. I'm going to dip my whole head into a
What
bucket
did
of
you
custard.
think was going to happen?
Nobody asked you to dip your whole head into a bucket of custard. That was your doing.
Okay, all right. Hold on. Nobody asked me not to dunk my head in a bowl of custard. I didn't do it. Look, you guys come up with some weird thing about custard. I'm like, okay, cool. And someone mentioned Chug. Chug is the cow that puts his whole head in the custard.
The direct words from Tomo, who suggested it, was, I want to see how much custard he can drink. That was it.
Well, I could tell you this, right?
You didn't drink much of it, did you?
No, hang on. First of all, 5 liters of custard is a lot of custard. All right.
It is.
Second of all, I was huffing that down while my head was under there. It was
how
just
do
like
you
a
feel
vacuum, just slopping it up.
How do you feel about custard now?
Never again. It's you know what? It was delicious. And it was fine. Everything was fine. The problem was that I forget the custard dries really quickly and gets all yucky and almost like cheese. It's like, oh man.
It curdles a little bit.
Yeah, and then I sort of like we ended because it was the last thing we did, and then
Yeah.
I ended the stream and everything, and I was cleaning. I just forgot to clean my face,
Yes.
and then I touched my beard, and it all curdled in creamy
So
custard.
I noticed this, and I decided not to say anything because I thought you'd just been through so much already. I'll let you figure it out on your own. Because I actually, you asked me to go and get some stuff from the shops to help clean up, and I came home and you still had it in your beard. So
Yes.
I just let it happen. And
Well,
then,
okay. So also there was a war on custard because custard doesn't absorb. Like you can't just throw some paper towel and it down and absorbs it. You got to
No,
push it around. You got to pick it up with your hands. It's all right. So as soon as the custard started to win the war, it's like Risk, right? And the map was less me and more custard. So it was
it's
like
true.
I was like, okay, we need to start fucking getting this custard out of the house somehow. And that's where I was like starting to throw my towels and stuff and just like scooping up custard. And then by the time I'd done that, I was out of towels, so I couldn't even shower.
And I'd like to point out there is still custard on the bottom of the shower. You need to rinse off.
I told you that. Did I? No, I mean, that was Snorlax did that. It was not me.
Oh, right.
I took all the everything that was coated in custard and I threw it all in the shower and then just rinsed it down with the shower.
This is where Lucy is saying that she has a dog and that comes in handy when you have big messes like this, and I believe that.
We have a cat.
Labrador. Yes, but Chip doesn't want anything to do with you when you're acting out, and I say that was you acting out. We need a dog.
What do you mean acting out?
We need a rented dog. What do you mean? What do I mean when you're acting out? Whenever you do a cooking stream, it unlocks a feral side of you.
It's not
Feral
me.
is the right word.
It's not me.
You get
It's
so
not me.
excited to do the
That's
weirdest
not
shit.
true.
And it's funny though, because like, you've met my parents in real life and they're like, wow, he's so quiet. Why is he so different when he's doing them cooking streams?
I don't know what you're talking about.
My parents have seen you do shoeies and stuff and like eating butter while screaming into a camera. They've seen that. And my mother actually came to the stream today and was commenting in the chat and like saying hi.
She said, not bad, good size.
She also sent a vomiting face. So, you really doing a great job with the in-laws here. So I don't know. Like I said though, you can be a very quiet person, but something inside of you unlocks like a feral gremlin when you do a cooking stream.
It's not
me.
me.
It's great content.
That's not me. It's Snorlax.
All right, we're gonna take you to a therapist. Okay, you're starting to have some sort of like multiple.
For legal
personalities.
reasons, it's not me.
He's got a personality disorder.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, it's not me. I plead insanity.
Yeah, that would check out. And everything you sort of handed me today to eat was not great.
It wasn't bad either.
But it was impressive that you got something that resembled.
Hang on. We need to talk about the cock and bush, right?
The crock and bush.
Whatever you call it. All right. That was, and like straight up, okay, first of all, I put it out on Twitter. Hey, looking for recipes to make.
And you got one response.
I got one response, which is obviously they just looked up the most ridiculous thing they could find on Giphy and put a GIF of a crock and bush there. And like, lol, look at this. And I'm like, fine,
It's a notoriously hard thing to make.
I'll fucking do it. Right? I'll do it. And you know what? I did it. It was done. It wasn't done well, but it was done.
You got something resembling a crock and bush. Everyone could look at that and say, yeah, that's
I think just now, like I could, without even looking at the recipe, I could do it again and I could do it properly.
Yeah.
Yep. No worries. I can do it. I can do it. But
I believe you.
When it came to finishing the crock and bush,
yes,
pouring a Vegemite drizzle over it was just funnier.
That was weird. That hurt my soul. I could smell it when you were making it.
Oh, it's foul. It was so disgusting. It's the worst thing ever. That's people, like it started off. Here's the idea. Here was the pitch, right? Because I was about to say something that made me sound insane. You know what I say to it? I made this pitch up to myself, right? I'm like, okay, we're going to do a cooking stream. What are we going to do? You know what we should do? We should do the fucking thing that everyone else seems to be doing, which is putting Vegemite in everything and then making it like it's a good thing. You can get a Vegemite roast chook. You can get Vegemite hot cross buns, Vegemite brownies, Vegemite pizza pockets, Vegemite pizzas, Vegemite fucking... It's like... Vegemite doesn't necessarily make it better.
Remember Vegemite shapes? They were good.
They're still out again. They're out again.
Oh, cool. They're nice. I might get some.
They're everywhere. They're fucking going out of control because everyone's like, oh man, it's got Vegemite in it. Must be better. If I don't like it, then I'm not Australian. No, it's fine to realize that Vegemite tastes like shit. Yeah. The only time it tastes great is if you put some fucking butter on some nice bread.
Yeah,
I think I've had enough of Vegemite for a long time.
So the pitch to myself was, let's play them at their own game. Let's take a heap of recipes. I was hoping to get more than one suggestion and add Vegemite to it and see if it makes it better. You know what it did? Fucking horrendous.
I will be doing my own cooking stream. Hopefully next week, maybe longer. I don't know. But I want to have like the polar opposite energy to you. I'm going to do everything like really well and like accurate and like classy.
Also, sorry, I just wanted to point out, you can also get Vegemite underwear. You can get Vegemite t-shirts and Vegemite deodorant at the moment.
I promise there will not be any Vegemite.
I tried to
smell like Vegemite.
I tried to get the Vegemite deodorant. I saw shout out to Rebel who showed me in the Team OC Discord that you could get it. Obviously, she's New Zealand, so it was Marmite. And I'm like, what the fuck? There's actually Vegemite fucking deodorant? Okay. And I looked it up, and at the moment, it's in the UK. I'm like, I'm not spending $60 for to ship over some Marmite fucking deodorant. But my God, what a meme! Oh man, but it's going to be interesting, and like as Shelby pointed out, she's got a cooking stream coming up, and you know, I'm somewhat of a rock star when it comes to cooking streams. I've done a fair few.
This will be my first one, and also I
Haven't
don't usually show my face on my streams.
haven't
So
a single time done a cooking stream that went normally. By the way,
no. So I'm gonna do a normal one. Well, it'll be themed, but it'll be normal and relaxing.
also I want to point out my first cooking stream I did was before I'd even joined Team OC, and when I say like I tried to do a fairly normal one, and we made some nice meals and stuff like that. But the one thing was, chat was like, I was eating Doritos between like cooking one of the meals, and like, well, man, you got to keep your Doritos in the freezer. It's how you're meant to do it.
The fuck?
What? Are you
Like-
serious?
So I
That's some
tried it,
bullshit.
and it's fucking amazing. It is actually a life hack because there's no moisture. It's not got no water in it, right? It's completely dry. So all you get is ice cold, crunchy Doritos, and it's delicious. It
My
actually is.
Doritos
Nice.
don't last long enough for me to
That
put them in
makes
the
sense.
freezer.
Yeah, I'll never forget that cookie stream for that one person who said freeze your Doritos, and now I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. It was crazy. But it's like that's the cool thing. Like if I had like a bigger kitchen, or you know, like I know that like Barjo tried and has sort of failed, but kind of, you know, has kitchen cams and stuff like that. But like have a regular cooking stream, that would be cool.
If I ever win a lottery, I'd love a house with 2 kitchens so we can have a stunt kitchen.
What do they
for
call
all
it? They have
like-
there's a butler's kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's the creator on YouTube called, well, there's like a couple called Rachel and June, and they got their new house built in Japan, and they purpose built a second kitchen upstairs in a studio space for June to make all of his cooking videos, and it's sick. It's really cool, and they have like their personal space and then their
Yeah.
kitchen space.
That'd be cool.
That would be neat. I'd like something like that if I get money. one
Yeah,
day.
and like to my point, I am a decent cook. I do know how to cook properly.
Mm,
Right. It's not, but when Snorlax is in the kitchen, it's about the bit. It's not about the meal. We're not going to, what's the point? If you're coming to watch a cooking stream, right? And I cook myself a fucking slow roast lamb fucking,
well, you
dish
wouldn't do
with-
slow roast on a stream, right?
yeah, why not?
Then it'd take like 8 hours at least.
And what's the problem with that?
I don't know, too long.
And boring is
I'm
my
thinking
point.
of doing like
Because
a
at the end of the
literally
day,
Wellington.
right, cooking a really nice long meal like that and then sitting down and eating it is a very nice, enjoyable time for me and no one else.
I can make it work. I think I can.
Drinking
make it
custard
enjoyable.
from your shoe is an enjoyable experience for everyone else and not me.
Look,
Definitely.
I am going to challenge that because I'm going to try and do something like good, and I think I can make it entertaining and still get people to come and see and donate.
Yeah, okay, that's totally fine. But I like the reason why the animal instincts take over is because we're doing a charity thing. It's a charity thing, and there's
Animal instincts is a great way to put it.
there's two. Yeah, well, Pokemon instincts. There's a Pokemon. It says whatever. It's like there's two things to look at. You can either make money for charity, which is great, but also totally out of, you know, I understand that everyone can't drop 10K on fucking charity and we're not going to cure cancer because of it. But the other thing is we make lots of noise and a ruckus and clips and screenshots and people telling people about it, and you spread the word so that they know that there's this whole thing that if you know, maybe you can't donate, but maybe your mate that thought it was funny I drink custard out of a shoe can donate. So it's about creating noise. It's just like lots of noise, you know? Like that Corey guy when he threw a party.
Very well.
Damn, he made some noise, alright.
But
Too
it's,
much.
you know, you get what I mean though. It's not just it's multifaceted. It's you know, it's 4D chess. You can't just sit there and go, give me money, watch me cook, because you're only going to make so much. Where, you know, many people are going to know about this charity and what's going on because I went and made an absolute ass of myself, and now I feel like shit and really need to shower.
Dirty. How's your
Smelly,
beard smell?
awful. It's not. You know what
Mm.
the worst bit is? The custard went up my nose, and then it like dried up in there. So it's like,
Oh my god, we don't have many Q-tips left either, so make the most of that.
it's just everywhere. It gets into the nooks and crannies. Anyway, it's fun for charity, and I had a lot of fun. The only thing is, and probably my biggest disappointment is, like, I had a list of meals that I was going to do, and we didn't really get through most of it, mainly because, like, the kitchen was just nuked by the time
And
we
the
got.
croquembouche became the pista.
But that was always
resistance.
going to be that. But it was like, I thought they were, in the way that it would have worked is we need to make this part, then like there'll be a 30-minute break because we need to let something cool or whatever. But the 30-minute break was just drink custard out of shoe.
Yeah.
So
The
I didn't-
croquembouche is pretty fast.
So we got to the end of the
surprisingly.
cooking stream, and I didn't actually have anything really that edible. So
No, it's all gone in the bin.
Shelby had to order me a pizza while I was cleaning.
did. Look, I just know sometimes when he gets like this look on his face, he's exhausted. Like he's obviously put on his show personality again now. Like you're a bit chirpier now.
What do you mean?
You walk around the house like,
What do you mean?
I'm in pain, and I'm just like, okay, my love, whatever you want to eat, I will get it for you.
Pizza fixes everything.
It's usually always pizza. So
I'm
it's
powered
just-
by pizza. Honestly,
Yeah, it is.
I should lean into it. It should be Zombies Love Bacon powered by pizza.
Zombies of pizza.
Do you reckon like probably not Domino's because I did talk shit about them for years, but do you reckon like
Maybe,
Pizza Hut would sponsor?
probably.
I'll
You
just-
could order enough pizza.
I just devour a pizza every stream.
You should just change your branding to Pizza Zombie.
Zombies Love Pizza.
I was
I mean,
No, it's not Pizza
that's
Zombie.
the obvious one. I don't know what Pizza Zombie is.
Pizza Zombie. I like it. But yeah, I just know like the way to make him happy, or even if he's sick, the way to make him feel better, or anything. You just got to get pizza into him.
Man,
one way
even
or
when we
another.
played New World, the guys knew if we had a war and they wanted me to like perform, they needed to make sure I had time to have a pizza beforehand.
Even
It's-
before I moved in, I was like sending you pizzas when you were not happy, just getting them delivered to your house. So
There was this time that it was like a 24-hour stream and you sent me breakfast.
yeah, you like that.
And that was like McDonald's breakfast. You know what? It's like if I could get like McDonald's breakfast 24/7, I'd be fine with that as well.
Well, McDonald's
Balanced meal.
next to us closed down, so we're feeling a bit McDonald's deprived at the moment. I think because anytime we get McDonald's now, we get it by delivery, and it's never the same because you got to wait that like precious 20 minutes, and everything starts to get a bit yuck.
Mind you,
McDonald's you got to eat straight away.
they do fuck up the order half the time, and not to the point
Yes.
where it's not edible, but to the point where it's refundable and it's just free McDonald's. And I'm not complaining about that. That's like when I got a pizza like 2 weeks ago, back on pizza, and the guy had clearly put it like vertical in his bag, and then like fucking delivered it to me. And then like when he handed it to me, I'm like, he gave it to me, and I'm like, whoa, like this is really heavy on one side. And I looked at it when I opened it up, and it was like smushed. I'm like, man, that's not what I ordered. I'm not paying $30 for a fucking pizza. I'm paying $30 for a pizza because I'm desperate. I'm not paying $30 for a pizza that's smushed.
Mm.
So when I get my money back, I'm still eating it. It's still the same volume of pizza. I'm still gonna eat it. Still tastes the same.
Presentation.
But the
is
presentation, I want my money back.
Yeah. I understand.
Definitely.
And then there's something about free stuff that just tastes better.
I mean, we are in a cost of living crisis. We try and get all we can for free, right? All of us. You just got to be
Yep.
hustling.
Yeah, but also, I think since the dawn of time, people know which way to carry a fucking pizza. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of broken.
It's just like, come on. man.
Definitely not
know.
vertical.
Whatever way they can fit the most orders into their little bicycle backpacks before they drive off, I guess.
I don't know. Well, when I refund it, who has to pay for that? It's not Uber. Someone's not getting paid.
I don't know.
Don't know. But yeah, it is a thing. Anyway, powered by pizza. I think patent pending. Maybe
If you pizza sponsor, please. Pizza
if you pizza sponsor.
sponsor.
I mean, Smoking Joe's is a really good pizza place.
Mm.
They're everywhere. I keep running into them. There was a Smoking when I was working off site at the other store, one of the other stores. They had a Smoking Joe's that was in a building that shared like it was a building that was half Domino's, half Smoking Joe's. You just walk in, you turn
So
left
you
for
get
Domino's, turn right for Smoking Joe's.
You get okay pizza or like a lot better pizza. Which one do you want?
But it's not that they were like in a mall or anything like that. It was one
just
front
next to each
door,
other.
one room, one shop. They're just like, we'll just split the rent and do 2 pizza shops in the one building.
I mean, yeah, okay.
I'm like, what the fuck? Okay.
The worst part is if you see the kitchens are connected and it's just Domino's with another mustache and glasses on.
They're not the same pizzas. They are very
Nah,
different
they're
pizzas.
not at all.
But it's kind of like you start to see it a bit. They do it a lot in the Asian countries, but they do like menu log hubs essentially. So it's just a heap of kitchens in this one building, so that they could just pump out.
Oh no, they definitely do that in Australia too. What's that one near us that has like 10 different restaurants under the one roof? But
No, that's different though. That's just one kitchen pumping out five restaurants worth of
at
menus.
least Uber and all that, like they tag them now as virtual brands, so you kind of know which ones aren't real.
So that's just it's
places.
like Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast Burger is they don't do they do have some brick and mortar ones now, but otherwise
They sort of franchise out. Like,
it's a
all the
menu.
ingredients
They
and
just
stuff.
restaurants can buy the menu, make the stuff, and sell them on to the app. Essentially, that's it. And then they just make money from that. Mr. Beast makes money for that. No overheads for Mr. Beast because he doesn't have to own the kitchens.
Yeah.
But the other one I saw now in I think it was Japan they were talking about they had a promotion where they're opening up restaurants for Uber Eats now because they're trying to just cut back on like the amount of time that the amount of drivers required because it's just like getting too much.
But that's like just a promotional thing though, right?
No, so what they want you to do is you go to a hub, so like you just go to a restaurant that hasn't got a kitchen there and you order your food to that so that it's like quick and easy for all the driver in the area.
Mhm.
Rather than them having to go to 6 different apartment buildings, they can go to one building with 6 different people in it.
I've talked about it before. There's this good video by Eddie Burback that's The Deceptive World of Ghost Kitchens. He does a bunch of investigations into ghost kitchens in his local area and he orders the exact same food from each
Yeah.
one. For some reason, he sits there and actually takes a bite of like 16 fish sandwiches in a row and wonders why they're all the same. It's just like he really was trying to research it, but I think his mindset was in the wrong place. He made him sound very sick with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I understand the whole Uber Eats thing and whatever. And like I can see where they're going with the restaurant thing where if you can get everyone to meet in one spot and then order their food to one spot, then there's only one spot the driver needs to go. Great. But what seems to be happening more and more is because overheads for owning a kitchen and owning that is like have a kitchen, have 10 different menus, and then put them on all these different apps and send them out. Like, okay, well, that's cool and all, but surely that kitchen's not very good at making 10 different menus if they have to make so many different versions of a cheeseburger or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Either way, Pizza Hut, you can come sponsor me. Easy
I'll take a
crust.
Domino's sponsorship. I
No.
stand Domino's more than Pizza Hut.
I've had too many run-ins with
All right,
Domino's.
tiebreaker team. Domino's or Pizza Hut?
They're both just like hit and miss. Sometimes
gotta
they're
pick
good,
one, though.
sometimes they're not.
You gotta
But
pick
I
one.
won't, I'm Domino's.
Oh, boo!
Yeah, they do cheesy crust a lot better.
To be honest, I haven't had Pizza Hut in years.
Anyone remember hot dog crust? That was good. I miss hot dog crust.
So they did meat pie crust.
Yeah, that doesn't excite me as much.
You know what? We've talked about this on the podcast before.
We have. Look, honestly, anytime that somebody talks about like cheesy crust or just like Domino's in general, I just think about the hot dog crust and how much I miss it.
Great segue into food topics, though. A couple things that keep popping up, and on TikTok in particular, with old mate who's always, coming a little bit closer, and popcorn has a little vent on the bottom so that you can shake out the kernels that didn't pop before you eat your popcorn.
I like that.
Man, my mind was blown when I saw that. I was
So-
like, what? That's how you're meant to be doing it?
I've heard it a couple times, and I always like, oh yeah, someone's figured out a way to, do it, whatever. But what this guy did differently is he rang the popcorn company and said, "Is this true?" And they're like, "Yeah, man, we've been trying to fucking tell everyone this is how you're meant to eat your popcorn, but no one listens."
I have never heard it.
I thought it was
until
just like
you
a-
actually showed me.
I thought it was just like the steam comes out of there. That's it. Like it's just
That's what I thought.
no. You meant to you turn upside down and you shake the
Yeah.
kernels out.
I just looked at the video. Fuck, I feel dumb for not doing that earlier.
When I saw it, I was like, oh my god.
It makes so
what
much
the
sense.
fuck?
We're all
Are you
fucked
serious?
in the head.
The thing is, right, I've heard that one a couple of times. Like I said, it's been confirmed now. So fucking start shaking your kernels, right? But then the next one, the reason why you get your Savoy and your crackers has the serrated edge is so you can cut cheese.
Well, that's not true. It's just a life hack. That's not the intended use.
They rang the cracker company and they said, yes, it is.
No, I don't believe that. I feel like the person on the phone was just like, man, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, we definitely did that on purpose.
Why would they do it then?
Because, I don't know, because it's decorative.
It's more money. It costs money to do that.
It helps in the cooking process because a higher surface area cooks better.
They need
No.
to put this shit on the back of the boxes.
Yes.
Packets. They've been trying to tell people for so long. Why don't they
This-
just put it on the packet?
This exact conversation is, I mean, yes, you could probably do that, but that's not why they did it. This is the conversation that just keeps happening. But then, no, this guy went back to, I forget, he went to Jats or whatever the hell they are, and they're just like, yeah, that's exactly why we do it. So there you go.
I don't trust that one. I mean, if a customer called me and was just like, "Hey, your product does this thing, an unintended but like really good thing," I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, we designed it that way, mate. That's all for you."
Maybe
Make the customer
maybe
happy.
there's a whole show on this where we just go fucking debunk everything.
Maybe.
And just
Maybe that's
That'd
your
be
next
cool.
cooking stream. You debunk a bunch of food hacks.
I'll go to the Savoy factory and be like cutting some cheese. And I'll eat the cheese and I'll break my teeth.
Live on stream again. I mean, you've been breaking your teeth on pizza. So.
I've broken my
and-
teeth on stream way too many.
Wait, do you want to tell everyone how you broke your teeth last night? Because
No.
what you were eating is very funny.
The latest saga in the toothache, which is trying to get a dentist to fix my fucking teeth, is that well, they fixed some teeth, they haven't fixed many teeth. They've got lots to do still. Anyway, they fucked up one of the teeth. We won't go into details why, because I don't want people to be like, oh, gross, yuck. But they fucked up the tooth and it had to come out, which left a gap of like 3 teeth in a row that are there now.
Yeah.
So they're like, we'll put a bridge in, what they call a bridge, which is basically a bit of fake tooth that goes in between there. And then they glue it to the front tooth and the back tooth. And then that just fills the gap while they build whatever they're going to build to fix the gap itself
They're
permanently.
like 3D printing your tooth right now.
Pretty
probably.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been fine. I've had it for a month. They took it out while they were working on stuff last weekend. They put it back in, no problems. And then I was having my normal 2 a.m. slice of cheap
Fake-ass cheese, like
plastic
the
cheese.
Cheap cheese.
100 slices of American cheese.
Cheap cheese that you can cut with the side of a Savoy, apparently.
You can
like
cut it
that
with the
thin.
side of a cracker, but you can't cut it with fucking nearly 7 grams worth of tooth work. So I took a bite out of the cheese and it went pop. And I went, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
I got out of bed and I walked into the kitchen. He's like basically having a mental breakdown over the fact that there was little bits of cheese everywhere on the bench that just teeth.
Shelby's like, I'll clean up the cheese. I'm like, that's not cheese, that's my tooth.
Oh.
I've got it. You want to see it? It's right here.
No, don't show anyone. He's got it in a Ziploc bag.
They're probably got to stick it back in.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, it's just wild.
But okay, for context, all right, because I was having a mental breakdown because it's covering where they ripped the tooth out, right, and it fucking hurts.
It's exposed. It's painful.
It hurts to breathe. All right, now you try chug custard with it and wonder how that's gonna feel.
chewies and all sorts of stuff you did today. You
Yeah.
powered through the pain, but like as soon as the cameras are off, he's like, "Oh my god,
That fucking tooth, man. Well, no tooth.
Yeah.
My fucking hole in my face, man.
the things you do for entertainment and for charity." I
Yeah, but it
mean,
wasn't meant to be that way. The fucking slice of cheese broke it. Oh, you know what though? Because I was like, this is seriously. This is my train of thought. I was staying up. I was testing some shit out. I'm like, okay, we're good to go. I can set everything up in the morning. We're good to go for the cooking stream. It's a pain in the ass, but we'll get it done. All right, time for bed. And then I went, bit peckish. Should probably eat something before I go to bed. Had a slice of cheese. Tooth fell out. There is a parallel universe where I went, bit peckish. Fuck it, I'll go to bed anyway. Got up, started the stream, took a bite at something, and it popped out then.
better happens off camera, I guess. I would have been clipped.
God damn! I would have spat out. It's a decent size, so it's like I would have
It's
spat
big.
out. Oh man, maybe you
Yeah.
should have done it for the bit. Should have just put it in there and went.
Yeah, people would have loved it.
So, changing the subject a little bit from food and teeth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I went and saw Fast X.
I didn't. This is one thing I didn't go to, so tell me about it. I want to know.
Which is the tagline, and I'm not actually sure. I should have probably checked that beforehand. But the tagline is the start of the end of the road, which is the worst tagline of all time. They should have went with fasten your seatbelts. Would have been much better.
Oh, did you write that or did you steal that? Because that was pretty good.
Max Hit
No, it was clever.
Max Hit said it, told me on Twitter. I'm like, you fucking should work for the marketing team. Then
Yeah.
I saw IGN said the same thing the next day. So they're obviously following me and stole that comment from Max Hit, but that's fine. I thought that was genius. They should have done it. But yeah, we went to the preview screening. We got invited by Lad Bible to go take us there, of all people. Yeah, it was great. It was bigger than I thought. They had a whole DJ section set up. What would normally be like just a normal open area in front of the cinema. They enclosed it all, set up a bar, DJ, and had a fucking Harley there because they couldn't get cars into the building. But I think the Sydney one had cars, from what I saw.
Jason Momoa rides the bike in the movie.
So do I. I rode on the bike.
Oh, you read? I want to see Jason Momoa on the bike.
Well, okay. So this is the thing, right? So I've watched all the Fast movies, and I'm indifferent to them. And Fast and Furious is the perfect example of something we went into detail with, I think, last week or the week before. That they used to be excellent movies, and then they switched gears to, I just want to be entertaining. It doesn't have to be a good movie, right?
Yeah.
And that's when they started fighting submarines and going into space.
They launched a car into space. That part I do know.
Still on board with it all because it's so just fucking entertaining, right? I wish there was a little bit more cars sometime because it's just the CG kind of whatever, but it's fun. It's all craziness. It's like if Mission Impossible was it's crazy. Sort of the beats in the way. Anyway, so I believe it's the first half of the final, but someone said there's 3 movies in the final part now, which means that there's going to be 13 in total. It just seems crazy.
I thought this was the last one.
It's the first half of the last one.
Oh, okay.
And I could vouch, having seen the movie, it just ends halfway through, similar to like, I don't know, what was the like Matrix? Yeah, Matrix Reloaded and that they just kind of go, okay, it's credits. And say, all right, well, okay, so I guess we'll see the rest of this movie another time. But look, so I'm up to speed with the lore, and I'm up to speed with a bit of the trailers and stuff like that. Well, I was not up to speed or had no preparation for Jason Momoa. And I put a few tweets in the thing, because I tweeted out a thing, and then someone liked it. I'm like, it's weird that this totally random person liked this particular tweet. And then I looked, and this person was liking all the Jason Momoa is an unhinged maniac tweets, because there was a lot of them, because no one was prepared for Jason Momoa, it turns out. He is basically playing the Joker if the Joker was a playboy fucking mansion partying boy who likes to do his nails and hair and wear flamboyant clothes, basically, in a Fast and Furious movie.
A bit weird, bit edgy, but like...
No, it's exactly how I described it.
Okay.
Like, I'm not, if anything, I'm under describing it. He will full on dance and twirl with his hair and pigtails and stuff while he's like nuking Rome.
Cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's like, what the fuck? This is awesome. What is it? Seriously, it's like they took 2 movies and mashed them together. It's like, well, I want to see the Jason Momoa movie.
I mean, they could
the
be
Jason
priming him
Momoa
for a
spin-off.
Yeah.
He couldn't, like, he's the villain. He's the Joker. He's just literally, he's out there and they're like, yo, man. He's like, because everyone's serious. Like, they're like, yo, man, you want to kill the Torettos? He's like, no, man, I just got to make them suffer. This will be funny as. Haha, let's go. That seems to be it. That's the whole thing. There's like a whole sequence where he's like, oh, well, I got to go kill some people. And then he gets on his motorbike, and then the whole time he's just racing them on his motorcycle, just laughing to himself the whole time and like going, woo, look at me go, and hair blowing in the wind. It's so, and there's one scene in particular. This is not spoilers because it's a Fast and Furious movie, right? There's one scene in particular where he's just killed a heap of people, and then he just gets some tape and he tapes their eyelids open and then does their nails and their hair for them.
Okay, so yeah, a bit fucked.
It's just like, but he's like just giggling to himself while it's happening, and he's like, "Yeah, you're right. I better do some crime stuff right now." And he just does a bit of crime, and then it goes back to like it'll have that scene, and it's followed straight up by fucking Vin Diesel being like, man, he's really hurting my family.
In Vin Diesel style.
And it's like, yeah. So, but overall, I feel like the movie was better than the last few movies. I feel like they got away from, they don't fight a submarine. There is a submarine in the movie. They don't fight a fucking space station. They don't even go into space this time. So I'm sorry if that's what you're looking for in that content. It is more, there is a lot of callbacks to like even like Fast and Furious 1 and 2. A lot of callbacks and a lot of tying off loose ends and stories and stuff like that to it. But yeah, generally speaking, it was good. I think that splitting the movie in two was a stupid idea, but probably will make them a lot of money. So, but it kind of ruins that movie because like now who's gonna go buy the DVD for fucking Fast and the Furious half? It's like it's no good without the other half.
This is true.
But yeah, it was good. It was like fucking 2 hours or something of just constant shit, broken up by Jason Momoa being an absolute flamboyant prick. But it's like, yeah, it's just ridiculousness. But yeah, it was funny because I took my friend Ragemeister, who's been gaming with us for years, but he lives in Melbourne now, so I said, "Come along, let's go see a movie." And he's like, "Oh man, I don't know if I can see Jason Momoa as anyone but Aquaman." Fuck me, they got rid of that Aquaman image immediately. It was not a problem. It was nowhere near a problem. I don't like. Honestly, I'd love to hear what the directing notes was. It was like, okay, just be a little bit more crazy. All right, more unhinged. More unhinged if you can.
He's a good actor. I'm pretty sure. Like,
no, he is. This is my point. Like he pulls it off, but he's clearly having an absolute ball. And it's really, and I think the reason why there was so many tweets and so many people pointing this out is it was like the first new thing that Fast and Furious has had in a while. Like they kind of just recycle the stuff over and over again, but this is the first time they've just had a new character who's just crazy.
Yeah.
Essentially. They were very strict at it was actually probably the most strict that I've ever been to a preview screening. They had roving security guards making sure no one had their phone even out during the movie.
Wow.
Particularly because there's a couple major sort of twists and story beats that are probably a little bit more unexpected. And there's also a thing that happens at the end of the credits that Reddit spoiled before I even got there anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, a certain very large wrestling individual who said he would never go back to the franchise found himself at the unemployment line recently because of a certain Black Adam, and guess he's back.
He's back, is
he? Guess old Black Adam didn't work out for him, so I'm not saying who. You guys could figure it out. Toby's like, who? What?
No, I know who you're talking about. I'll just be honest, anytime that there's like conversation about the Fast and Furious franchise, my brain kind of turns off a little bit. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean it's like, it's not my thing, never has been.
Yeah, but okay. So this is my question, all right? Because we had the same conversation about Transformers. Because Transformers is the next one we're going to go see, right? How many Fast and the Furious movies have you seen?
Like 2.
And this is the exact answer you gave about Transformers.
Yeah, but okay, no, this is different though, because I liked the Transformers that I watched.
Okay,
I just didn't follow through and watch more.
What if
I didn't like either of the Fast movies that I
So
watched.
there is first of all, let me tell you my bit, and then there's a really good take that I saw on Twitter as well about Fast and Furious. But my bit is I studied Fast and Furious in film school because it is a perfect movie. Like, it is made very well. It is shot very well. It's written very well. The characters developed perfectly. It is made very well. Up until about Fast and the Furious 5, when they when they decided that it would be cool to launch cars off buildings or pull safes out of banks and drag them along with hot rods, or fucking jumping off of skyscrapers into other skyscrapers was a bit too much in my opinion. So 5 onwards is a bit nutty, a bit crazy, right? But it's also like it's its own franchise. It's not like it's you can't be like, yo, I don't like Fast and Furious. I prefer the Need for Speed movies, which is one of. Like, there's no one else doing it. No one else can do that. It's not like, oh, I don't like James Bond. I like Jason Bourne.
Yeah, but
or Mission Impossible. There's 3 spy get one straight up. There's only one Fast and Furious. And why is there only one? Why can't we have more car movies? Gone in 60 Seconds is the next best thing, and we got one of them, which was a remake.
Was good. I liked it.
It was really good.
Yeah, I loved it.
It was really, really good.
I just didn't like Fast.
My point is, right, lots of people like Fast and Furious regardless. It is a juggernaut regardless. And no one's even game to come close to trying to make a story about street racing again. that's even going to come close. And it's, you know what? At this point, it's not even about the cars. It's about the fact that they probably have 20 A-list actors in it. Like, it's bigger than Ocean's 11 now. It's insane the amount of, like, they were introduced top billing actors 3/4 away from the movie. Because it's like, it's not a big deal that Jason Statham's in the movie. Because we already have 12 other people that are fucking big actors anyway. It's like, it's insanity. But the thing is that if you can't be like, oh, no, that doesn't really interest me if you haven't watched it. Because
Well, I have watched some of it. It just doesn't really.
if you watch 1, 2, 3, 4, I think you'd have a really good time.
I see the clips and
That
stuff.
was
come up
yeah,
and
because it was all
three-
about the cars.
It was all about the cars, and it was about the relationships, about the people, and with the cars.
I know that, but I even just see like clips and footage of stuff come up from like all of the movies, and none of it interests me. None of it.
I disagree.
You
just-
can't
I-
disagree with what interests me.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
I honestly, I feel like Fast and Furious and stuff like that, like they because they've had so many in so many different tones. There's a bit in there for everyone.
I feel about Fast and the Furious the way that you feel about the Barbie movie.
You haven't even seen the Barbie movie. It could be absolute garbage. Meanwhile, Oppenheimer's looking amazing. It's coming out same day. You know, it might be busy for Barbie. Saying
Barbie movie is going to be perfect. I just know it is.
maybe. But anyway, my point is, you can't be like, you have to show respect for Fast and the Furious,
Nah.
whether you're not you think it's
I'm
shit.
not disrespecting it. I'm just saying I'm not
You
interested.
are.
I'm not.
You literally-
Me saying I'm not interested is disrespectful.
Yes.
No, I'm not. You saying you're not interested in Barbie is also disrespectful.
I'm not interested in Barbie, and I am being disrespectful.
So rude.
Anyway, Fast and Furious is out now. It is cool, but it is half a movie. It does definitely hit those strides. There's got some really cool stuff. It's not really a spoiler because it's an opening sort of sequence, but in the opening sequence, Jason Momoa drops a giant, like almost like a Rocket League size soccer ball in Rome. That's a nuclear device, and then it just rolls down the streets of Rome, and they basically play Rocket League trying to stop it, right, with cars. I kept looking at it, and I'd played so much Zelda. I was like, this is one of those shrine puzzles. This is ball here. It keeps rolling away.
Not everything is Zelda.
Yeah, it looked a lot like Zelda. You know, old fucking Roman ruins and a big ball rolling through it. It was Zelda. Oh, man. It's fucking wild. Anyway, I actually enjoyed the movie. But yeah, the next movie we are seeing is Transform. And then there's quite a bit going on. I want to see Renfield. I don't think we're going to get an invite to that. Really sure what the deal with that is. That's the Nicolas Cage's Dracula movie, which that alone's enough. Also The Flash coming out, which Shelby, you've already said you're not interested in it.
Yeah.
You call it The Flash, I call it Batman. Same thing.
Same thing.
Spider-Verse is also coming out soon.
Very interested.
Very
in
interested in that. We haven't been invited, but we have begged for them for a ticket.
that. No response yet. But only sent late last week, so we'll see.
So there's that. But yeah, no, there's a lot coming out. I suppose it's like that peak time American summer blockbusters, also known as our winter. But yeah. Speaking of Zelda, well, I just want to mention, segue into something else that I saw. I have finished Tears of the Kingdom. It is easily I'd say probably the best game I've ever played, ever. Which is pretty up there. Like, I'd honestly, things like God of War, the Ragnarok was amazing. But as a video game, the amount of freedom they gave me, and I couldn't break the game. Like, they gave me all the freedom in the world, and I finished the game in my way, and it knew that I was going to finish it in the way I was going to finish it, and it worked. I've never felt so free in playing a video game. It's like, here is a challenge. Here is the solution that we present, but also, if you feel like building a fucking bridge out of trees nearby, do that as well. I don't care. All right, I'll do that then. But I'm going to put rockets on it.
I do like them letting people be creative and sort of solve things their own way, and it's something I made me actually go. I'm going to try Breath of the Wild, and then I'll try Tears of the Kingdom because I want to be creative and mess around.
Well, even Breath of the Wild, like, no, not compared to Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is A+. Honestly, it is. And the thing is that I think is wild doesn't have ray tracing, doesn't run at 60 frames, it doesn't go in 4K. I don't need a 3090 to play it. In fact, I could play it portable. Shall we die?
You awake,
Shall
Shelby?
we died at all the news?
She's back.
He's muted as
Wrong with
well.
me? Hold on. Hello?
Hello?
Am I back?
Back.
You're back.
Sorry, I
you-
passed out, I guess. That was rough.
I was just like, I was going through all the points and I just saw Shelby collapse.
I actually don't know what happened. I was just sitting here and I look over at the stream and I'm dead. I was like, okay.
But yeah, it's got none of the points that people always point to when they're like, this game's trash. It doesn't have 60 frames. Yeah, well, Tears of the Kingdom barely has 30, and it's amazing. So it's yeah, so it was good, really, really good. Really fucking loved it. It'll sell its tits off. It never sells a huge amount because only X amount of people play Zelda and only X amount of people have Nintendos. So it's never gonna outsell a Call of Duty or something like that. But it should because it's amazing. It was very enjoyable.
It's iconic. It's an
Some
iconic
people
series.
did bring
Enjoy
up.
it.
Yeah, it is.
Some people did bring up because I obviously was doing the boss and stuff like that, and people were like, it's pretty difficult actually. Like you have to go in pretty well prepared. Like you can't just sort of W key your way
sorta-
into it. It's not going to work.
Yeah, you sort of had to back out and like recharge.
I literally had to go regroup and go like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to go make special food, which means I'm gonna have to go here and pick these flowers, and this is the only way I'm gonna be able to beat this game today, and like go basically try and make myself overpowered to do it. And then someone points out, it's like, this is a kid's game. Like kids are not going to beat this game. It's too hard. And they're like, hey, you know what's really fun? If you go in without all the preparation, it's Dark Souls. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun to me. It sounds terrible. But yeah, I finished it. I thought the story was actually quite good. It definitely is right up there with a lot of the other Zelda Legend stuff. I can't wait till we get to a point, probably a month or 2 months down the track, where a lot of people are finished and we can start discussing what the fuck is going on, because they've always stuck to kind of a formula, but they kind of are breaking it a little bit with this stuff. Like it still sticks to a formula, but it's like this doesn't fit in with the greater lore and timeline unless they're changing things. But yeah, the best thing was, that the story itself and everything that's sort of wrapping up out of it is like, people are now wondering, where do we go next? Because it's pretty perfect. Like they can give us a new.
Reboot it.
They can get Listen, when you say stuff about Zelda like that, you sound stupid.
Okay, never mind. I won't talk about your precious baby Zelda. Sorry, go get your fucking Zelda books. Crack open your lore. He was giving me a lore lecture.
And
the
you
other
obviously
day.
didn't pay any attention, so you're trying to reboot Zelda.
I know there's different timelines and different shit. You showed me the fucking graph and the trees and was aggressively.
But they
flipping
just
through
go
pages.
forward 100 years, and then it's a new person's born into the legend and the curse, and it all plays out again. It's the whole point of the fucking story.
Yes.
Anyway, much to Shelby's comment, kind of leads to the discussion that's going around the fact that people are interested in making a Zelda movie after Mario did so well.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, Zelda doesn't.
Zelda's got a lot more complex lore that I think you.
Well,
have
Link
a
doesn't
higher
talk
chance-
as part of the problem.
Yeah, and there's a
They
higher
can get him
chance of,
voiced
like-
by Chris Pratt again. He doesn't have to do shit.
I just mean like with that much lore and stuff, there's a higher chance of them fucking it up.
Absolutely. Yes.
Mario's more straightforward. It's just like, oh, Princess Peach, blah, blah, blah. And then Zelda is like complex.
Yes. But also, it's taken them 40 years to do Mario correctly. And even then, it's arguably correctly. But I guess the point is that Zelda's huge. The game is huge. It's at its peak. Like it's going to be very hard for them to go any higher. And like the last time Zelda was at a peak, right? They went Ocarina of Time, and then they pumped out Majora's Mask so quick by just using the same assets and rearranging the story, essentially, right? And that was huge. But Majora's Mask didn't sell nearly as much as Ocarina of Time. Then everyone's like, oh man, I can't wait to see fucking this, because that was the generation change. So they went to GameCube, and then GameCube's like, man, we're gonna have this fucking sick, we're gonna see Link and all this, well, back then it was like 720, or no, it wasn't even 720. I think it was like 480p glory. He's going to be mad. It's going to look so cool, stuff like that. And then they brought out Wind Waker, which looked like a cartoon. Everyone went, what the fuck's this shit? What
Yeah.
look, the people wrote bomb threats into fucking Nintendo. They're like, how dare you fuck my boy Link? I don't want to fuck a toon. I want the other one. I want the one that I imagined when I was looking at that 64-bit Link in Ocarina of Time. Make him hot. Fast forward 20 years, everyone's like, wow, Wind Waker's really held up because the cartoon graphics, like the stylized graphics, actually.
Stylized graphics really age better over time.
Yeah, but it took us 20 years to realize that.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like that's where we're going. We're going to go Breath of the Wild into Tears of the Kingdom, and then they're going to bring us some fuckery that we're not going to understand what the hell they're doing, but they're going to be ahead of their time.
Yeah.
That'll be the next thing. It'll be fucking VR Link or something. People are like, what the fuck? I don't want... They probably do want VR Link.
I mean, there's already
They
that,
do. They want
that
VR
Breath of the Wild remake in VR chat you can go play.
You did get me to play that, and I felt nauseous because if you think the map's big when you're running around on the Switch, try running around in VR. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, I think Shelby was like, "There's a sword up there on that rock," and I'm like, "Oh my god, that rock's huge."
It was cool. Definitely have to look it out. I look it up. I think it's like the Plains of Hyrule or something like that.
But yeah, it's interesting. I think Nintendo to lean into Zelda is. I think the bait. It's clickbait, right? I think the bait is Zelda's popular, Mario's popular. Put the two together, but I think by the time they even consider making another movie or get another movie rolling, Zelda's not going to be the hot topic. I think a Donkey Kong spin-off would be the easy win.
Yeah, that's first on the cards, absolutely.
Because you got Cranky, Diddy, Dixie, Kitty, the Kongs.
Spin-offs.
You got so many characters to play with. You got Link that can't talk, and then Zelda. That's it.
Yeah.
Although they did in Tears of the Kingdom, they did give Ganondorf much more of a personality, who is a very scary motherfucker. And Matt Mercer voiced him, and fucking I was just terrified to go near the person. Fucked.
He was very creepy, I have to say.
But yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed the game and stuff like that.
Mm.
So yeah, I did want to just circle back before we need to take another break. But I forgot to mention the really good take that I saw on Twitter for Fast and Furious, which was by I think it's Barton, who's a voice actress and let's player YouTuber, just a talented human. Basically said the rules of Fast and Furious is Dungeons and Dragons. Start on level 1, where all you can do is drive cars and steal VCRs. Pretty lame. Get a bit better. And they introduce a few characters that maybe start off as villains, but then they switch sides and join your team. And then when you get towards the end of the campaign and you're over leveled, you can do dumb shit like just fly your car into space because you're just too overpowered at this point in the campaign. You probably shouldn't be playing anymore. And it kind of makes sense. Like, they go into great detail. You can look it up on Twitter. They go into great
Right, where's
detail.
Crit Happens Gaming? We'll get him to make a campaign of a game.
Fast and Furious?
Fast and Furious tabletop.
Well, people do
That'd
point.
be cool.
They point out how limited they are in the first season versus literally like in the last one. There's a whole plot of they get like a satellite system that can quite literally just locate anyone on the planet wherever they are, no matter where they are, because you can. And it's like the most MacGuffin thing in the world, but it's really just the fact that they're just overpowered at this point. And so it makes sense. But I thought that was a great take on it. I don't think that that's what they thought about when they wrote it. I just thought they thought cars go boom, big explosions, fun. And it's that time again when we talk about how all the towns in Australia are lovely and nothing bad has happened.
It's time for the news roundup of the week with Sht Towns of Australia. Those of you who have been paying attention to the news can probably predict what's at the top of the list this week, but either way, we're going to get there eventually, and I will take you through it. So number 10 is Port Pirie, which is still shit.
Of course it is.
Because of the lead in the water and the air.
Everywhere.
Number 9 is Perth, Western Australia this time. Cops failed to detain drunk driver's car as they can't drive a manual.
Wow. Just
Oh
wow.
my god.
Just wow. Can't even drive it like never mind.
Can't even drive
I guess
stick.
they had to probably call a tow truck driver.
I mean, I say that I can't drive a manual, but like if an emergency happened, I could get it from A to B.
Yeah.
It's
You gotta figure it out.
not that hard.
Nope.
Yeah. Anyway, nice work.
Number 9 is Canberra. Australian Capital Territory, Drongo was arrested after stealing a phone, then trying to sell it back to the same shop. And another bloke was arrested after throwing a hamburger at a cop through a police car window.
Excellent. Drive through.
Why would you steal a phone and then try and sell it back to the same shop?
Well,
Did you forget where he stole them from?
Times are tough, man.
when you steal a phone, you take it to cash converters to sell it. And
Yeah.
if you happen to be stealing from cash converters, you take it to cash converters to sell it.
Or maybe he thought, man, I heard you guys lost some of your stock and inventory. I've got some. Do you want it to top up?
Used to be that thing that people used to try where they like go into a store and they grab items off the shelf and then try and return it in the store.
Oh, that still happens all the
I
time.
know people who
I've caught
did that.
people doing that when I worked at Harris Scarf.
Tisk.
They'd grab like an air fryer and try and return it and that sort of stuff. So bad. Number 7 is Noosa, Queensland. I'd just like to point out Queensland is not mentioned often on this week's list, which is crazy.
What about
Queensland
Old
usually
Mate in
dominates.
Queensland? What's the
Townsville?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, that's the only other town in Townsville.
Of course it is.
Queensland. But this one, number 7, is Noosa, Queensland. Gronk tasered and arrested after trying to flee in stolen car with a cop in the passenger seat. Sorry, let me reread the whole
Oh
sentence. 'cause
my
it kind of
God.
blew
He
my
stole a
mind.
cop car with the cop still in it.
I'm going to reread this. Gronk tasered and arrested after trying to flee in a stolen car with a cop in the passenger seat before turning up to court in another stolen car. So I think the cop may have gotten into the car as this guy tried to steal it. Like he was like, I'm going to stop him by getting into the passenger side. And then the guy kept driving.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Very
and then he
clever.
rocks up to court in another stolen car. That's like the guy from last week who showed up to court with a car full of drugs and like weapons.
Yeah, but it's also like, oh, how'd I get caught when I stole the car with the cop in it? It's like, well,
Eh.
I wonder.
This one is the next one's in the Northern Territory. It's Umbakakumba. Rubbish collection halted after rubbish truck was attacked with an axe.
Jesus Christ, why?
Poor truck driver. Holy
Oh,
shit.
man's just trying to do his
Yeah,
job.
man, not many
That's
people want to
pretty
do that
fucked.
job. Let him go. Just like-
The Sydney, New South Wales is number 5. Gronk flees after smashing rented Lambo into 3 cars in a car yard.
He
Rented,
was
you
going
said.
fast too. I think he even just ran off
Yeah, he hit and run.
after he like had the accident. Just
Yep.
dipped out of there.
It's just he got embarrassed. 'cause
I
he
mean,
had
it was a
so many
rented
of them.
Lamborghini. How much money do you reckon he's up for?
A lot. Yeah, the
I'd
bonds
run
to
too.
get those.
I'd run. I think that'd be the fastest I've ever run.
Like witnesses said that. I'm sure they said that like he jumped, like someone picked him up and like never seen again.
Gone.
Mm. Right.
Anyway.
Well, the next one is Melbourne, Victoria, number 4.
Oh.
Psycho males use condoms to dozens of women.
My God, what the fuck? Why?
Yeah, I saw about this on Facebook actually. In our sort of local neighborhood, some people were affected. So people are just randomly receiving used condoms in the mail.
Why?
Or women though. Because people are disgusting.
How do you know it was women?
Because all the women are reporting it.
How did he know it was women?
I guess he's been stalking.
So they're not random.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, nobody knows why these women in particular were selected. There's not much to like link them together except for the fact that they're women. So maybe he's gone down like a phone book or something. Like you can get phone books for some areas. I don't know, or some sort of records. and-
Even phone books, it's like an initial and a last name. There's no way to tell if it's a man or woman.
Yeah, I have no idea. Strange. Something sus. Hopefully we'll find out more about that in the coming weeks. Number 3 is good old Townsville, Queensland, though. Top 3.
Podium finish, as always.
Yep. Youths in a stolen car try to run over kid on bike.
God
and
damn it.
Feral kids punch elderly woman after crashing stolen car.
Damn
and
it.
a man was found unconscious after being shot in the ass.
Damn,
Rough week in Townsville.
God damn.
definitely.
Townsville sounds like a GTA Online lobby. That's what it sounds like. It's just shit
Really?
going down everywhere all the time.
I'm sorry if you live in Townsville and you listen to this. but,
Leave Townsville now. Get
yeah.
your shit and go.
Number 2 this week, though, is Adelaide, South Australia.
Ooh.
Woman threatens emergency services with an axe after they arrived to help her following a car
I
crash.
did see that.
And a car was stolen with a toddler inside, which seems to happen regularly in these lists, unfortunately.
And it's fucked.
It is. Number one though, is one that if you've been paying attention to the news, you'll know about because we're getting roasted internationally for this. In Cooma, New South Wales, cops bravely tase a 95-year-old woman with a walking frame in an aged care facility. I have a lot of info on this one. I know, Eladi, you didn't know much about this, did you?
Rightly so. I wouldn't think anyone would want to admit to that. It's kind of just
It's been
dumb.
like the hottest topic this week. So, she was a 95-year-old woman with dementia, and they were called to the care facility because she had a knife, a very small kitchen knife that she'd picked up, and had gone into a treatment room and had kind of blocked herself in there in the corner with her walker in front of her. Had a knife. They didn't know how to get it off her. And this woman, by the way, she weighs 45 kilos.
I just want to stop you there, and this is a statement you can quote me on. I've never met a 94-year-old woman that I couldn't drop kick from a distance.
Oh my god!
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
so
to be
they could
honest.
have definitely done something a bit easier than doing what they did. It's not like she's gonna
Anything!
move very fast.
You could have probably just fucking blown some wind at her. You could have just spat on her and
So-
she would have fell over. It's like, what are you doing?
The attending constable shot her with the stun gun.
What a
she fell
hero.
to the-
Get him a
she
fucking
fell to
medal.
the ground. She fell to the ground and suffered a bad head injury. She is still in hospital. She's bedridden. She comes in and out of consciousness, and they can't get her to properly wake up.
What the fuck? Why? That is probably some fucking cop that's like, oh, I can't be bothered with this, and just shot her. That's
There's so much more you can do. Like I don't get it either.
hit it with a newspaper. What is-
Literally, they
She
could have
dropped the
like,
knife.
you know how that they have like a lot of body armor options, right? They just wear some like of those chainmail gloves, put on the body armor, go and grab the knife over. It's
do
not
that.
like it's gonna.
Do that thing with they like wrap a towel around them, disarm them, like you do with a dog when you don't want to get scratched.
Or
They
like a
just-
carrot.
Pretty much.
Honestly, I think we could brainstorm 400 things right now that is better than shooting her. It's like-
You could, you know, spend some time talking to her. People with dementia can often be
spray
spoken
her
to
with a
and sort of-
hose.
You could have talked to somebody with dementia and sort of rationalized what's going on in their mind and like helped them through it and then gotten it off of her. Like there's so much more they could have done. The duty of care is really bad. Obviously her family is really upset. She has eight children and more than 60 grandchildren and great grandchildren who are all very pissed. That
God
was
damn!
made
If
a
this was
point of
America,
being
they'd get
mentioned.
sued for $50 million at least.
Yeah.
It's like-
The officer served 12 years on the force. There was no news about any criminal charges against him. His actions are under review though, because they said not one of our officers is above the law
Alright.
because what he did was actually unlawful. So
well, what I hope for is that he lives a long and healthy life. To the age of roughly 94, and someone busts down the door and tase him. What the fuck?
there is lots of body cam footage. By the way,
Oh
that they
my
have
god,
through,
there's
so-
body cam footage? You want to see that happen?
No, I don't want to see it. I'm just saying that's the evidence that they're working with right now to go through.
Tonight on the Channel 6 News, who wants to see an old lady at 94 get tased because she's buttering her bread? It's-
And it was just a steak knife as well from the kitchen.
She wouldn't even be strong enough to actually pierce your
She
skin. or
had a
anything.
walker.
And
She
then-
can't even walk towards you without like going real slow. I don't
she
know,
would
it's
be
rough.
she would be like moving in slow motion. If you can't
Yeah.
dodge that knife, what the fuck are you doing on the force?
Yeah. So I hope this woman Claire Noland wakes up soon. and
It's
she, you know-
was it Austin Powers with the guy's like coming with the steamroller and he's like 50 meters away. He's like, look out! You're gonna get run
Yeah,
over.
It is.
it's exactly that.
The old lady's
and
like, I'm gonna stab you. I'm coming. Stay still. I'm coming. He's like, oh god, she's got a weapon. Fucking mag dump her. Let's go. It's like,
the thing as well with like dementia patients is like she was probably just really scared in her mind. She was trying to defend herself from something bad.
I've spent quite a lot of time around
Yeah.
very old people with dementia. Fortunately, like Alzheimer's is also like my nana was Alzheimer's. Was in a home where there was many different shapes and sizes. Let's just say they're all harmless. Like they are all harmless. There is nothing that they can do to a person on the police force that warrants any kind of force.
Yeah.
Full stop.
And I genuinely think like an officer could have come in there and just like helped her with whatever was scaring her enough to pick up a knife and like
You could have
talk to her
literally
through it.
thrown a blanket over her.
Yeah, if she was yeah.
You could
Anyway,
literally throw a blanket over her. Like, I'm not even joking.
I know. I'm just saying. All right. Anyway, that was Sht Towns Australia power rankings for this week. So hopefully next week is better.
Sorry, what town was the fucking old lady tased in?
That was Cooma, New South Wales.
Cooma. Where's that?
In the country somewhere.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you were going to say it's in Sydney. I was going to say, well, does that make it the best
No.
town in the world?
Well, okay, yeah, that's the segue that you want because Sydney was crowned the best place to live in the world.
Everybody that's
apparently.
living
What up, Sydney?
anywhere but Sydney, you're living in a shithole. Sydney, best in the world. Move over Paris, move over New York.
Okay, I just want to say it's not like a government elected thing, right? This is just by a branding agency has decided this.
Was
a
it the
brand
Sydney branding
evaluation
agency?
No,
I
it
bet you
was
they are from
by
Sydney.
a brand evaluation consultancy company. So they don't know shit.
They had offices
about
in
anything.
Sydney?
Because to be honest,
Have
I've
they
lived
been
in
to Sydney?
Probably not. I've lived in Sydney, like in the thick of it, like right in the middle of Sydney. I would rather go and get hit by a tram in Melbourne now than move back there.
Would you rather be tased in a... No, never.
Oh my God. I just think that I don't think they've actually visited Sydney. 'Cause
Sydney.
it's horrible.
I don't think so. I live here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tony,
it's
you
fucking
live there,
trash.
right? It's like... Okay, let's break it down real quick, right? What do you look for in like a city that's like, fuck man, I want to go hang out in this city? You know, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Go.
For me,
Yeah, anyone, go, jump in.
Good infrastructure so that makes sense so you can navigate easily. Like Melbourne's laid out in grids, but Sydney's laid out and they fuck you.
it is. Like, the transportation in Melbourne is so good. Like, Sydney's fucked.
Like
The
transportation,
trains
infrastructure.
never work in Sydney. They're always on strike, and then you can never get where you want to go, and it always makes national headlines.
So
whenever it happens.
I'm in a different aspect, right? When I think, oh, fuck yeah, this city's pumps. This is the place to be. I think nightlife. Like I think of shit to do, right?
And Sydney doesn't have nightlife.
Sydney doesn't have nightlife.
Look at
We used to
Willis.
have, like, I think it was like at 2:00. Like, that's it. Everything used to shut.
Yeah, but even
Like, even
like,
earlier.
now it's like it's just it was bad. It was bad. It was bad, and then they made it worse. Because I remember, like, I was in a point where I was like traveling around Australia a lot, and like every time I got to Sydney, they're like, "Oh, we don't do fuck all. Like, you're usually home by midnight because there's nothing open."
Yeah, the most of the thing that you could do is like go out for dinner at a restaurant, then come home. That's like it.
Fucking
Like, even
boring.
King's Cross used to be like the nightlife.
It used to be
Now it's just like all
go to
apartments.
you go to King's Cross until the sun comes up, and then you regret
Pretty
everything
much.
you did. It's like
Yeah.
that was they've made entire movies and TV shows about it. It was fucking wild, and then they were apparently too wild, had to be tamed. So
Yeah, it's just crazy expensive as well because years ago, I
and
think
it's
it was, like,
expensive. It's so
20,
expensive.
2016,
expensive as
2017,
fuck.
pre-housing crisis, I was paying $235 to rent a single room in a share house with 5 other people in one bathroom. And it's insane now. Like, we think the housing crisis is bad in Melbourne. No, it's completely fucked in Sydney. It's making tons more
Yeah,
people homeless.
it's very bad in Melbourne, but it's fucked in Sydney. Like it is
Yeah,
because
there's so many homeless people around Sydney right
it's
now.
not, and it's not even to the
Everywhere.
point of like in Melbourne, it's like, oh man, I can't get my 2-bedroom apartment without paying $600 a week. It's like there's not even 2-bedroom apartments available in Sydney. There's not even 1-bedroom apartments available. It's like you get 1 bedroom for 6 people in Sydney.
Yeah.
It's fucked. And like
Like, they even, like, the landlords are even jacking the, like, rent prices up by $400.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked about it before on the podcast. We talked about Sydney being so fucking expensive years ago on the podcast.
Yes,
Remember
absolutely.
they were trying to rent out a car space for $380 a week.
Yep.
It's like what the fuck? And it wasn't even that close to Sydney. It was on the
There's
outfucking
also
cert.
news reports coming out like this week that obviously the housing crisis is not only just affecting locals now, but in Sydney, international students, which that's their bread and butter, even more than Melbourne, because a lot of go to UNSW and all that.
Well, yes.
I lived near UNSW, very big international student area, and everyone's saying that they were misled about the cost of living in Sydney, and it's making them depressed, stressed, dropping out of school, going back
And that's
home.
why there's 8 of them to a 1-bedroom apartment. This is what I'm
Yep.
talking about. So then my question is, because obviously this is absolute fucking bullshit, right? Nobody says Sydney's the best town in the world.
Yeah.
Nobody. So then my question is, why does this one person say it and has the balls to put it out there? I mean, obviously they've probably got the most clicks they've ever had for their website, I assume.
Yeah, well, they're a brand consultancy. It's like marketing, right? They want the clicks.
So they've come so well that they could be like, "Yo, Sydney is the best in the world." Like, okay, what has Sydney got? Like, what is the best thing Sydney's got?
Okay, so
Don't
I
say the
just,
Opera House because I will shoot you if you say that. And I think that's
The Harbour
warranted.
Bridge.
Fuck off.
I like I like the general like aesthetic. I think that's pretty.
What?
But that's about it. But I just want to add context. Can I add context to the brand finance thing?
Sure.
The context is that they're not looking necessarily at the livable factors of the city, but they're looking at how well branded a city is.
This is
So
my point.
New
What has it
York
got?
came second, London came third, and I can't find any info about what they liked about Sydney, but we can.
Yeah, okay, all right,
look at that.
all right. Taking
But
everything.
again, they like the Opera House. They like
Fuck
Vivid
off.
Sydney. Nobody likes Vivid Sydney. He's local.
No one likes Vivid Sydney. Full stop. Anyone who's been to Vivid Sydney hates Vivid Sydney.
It's yeah.
It's like
chat.
it's like Lemmings. It's Lemmings. That's it. You just cram in and keep fucking walking into the point that you fall off the bridge. It's
Yeah.
it's absolute. Anyway, look. My point is, right, taking into account everything you say, right, from a most marketable city, right. So from a city that from everyone else looks at it, goes, wow, man, I can't wait to go to that city. That city looks cool. For me, Tokyo. Like Tokyo looks fucking awesome. Like going to Japan, it's like, whoa, man, that looks like a fucking party
yeah.
capital of the world. Let's go. Like that. Where's that? Where's Tokyo on the list? Not top 3. Sydney is like, no one goes, wow, the Opera House. I love going to the Opera House to see opera.
Like that's all we got is like an opera house and a bridge.
And Luna Park.
No one goes to
They
Luna
love
Park.
pushing, but they love pushing it though. Is like an
So,
iconic
okay, so
thing.
from a person who has spent a lot of time in Sydney, not by choice, so I've gone to Sydney and been like, okay, well, while I'm here, I might as well do some tourist stuff and see whatever. Opera House is mid. Everything around the Opera House costs 150% more than it should, right?
Yeah.
There's got some cool gardens and beside it, with some pretty cool looks of the harbour. Not bad. The bridge is fucked. You just catch a train across it anyway. Who cares? The only thing that was pretty cool was the fucking the ferries and the zoo. The zoo was pretty cool.
So the zoo is pretty cool. They did a bunch of other. So the best thing on the planet was actually just one part of the different categories that they were voting for. So there was actually an overall ranking of different values as well. So Sydney ranked 5 overall, but best place to live in was ranked number 1. London is best overall, but Sydney also ranked in the following as the second best to work and retire in, which is fucked. Third best to study and invest in, and 5th best to visit.
All right,
is their rankings.
Stop there.
Okay.
Don't even look at that website anymore. They're full of shit.
All right, stop. All right. Yeah, they are. They don't know nothing.
So okay.
Nothing.
Let's stop for a second and let's just sense check what they're saying real quick.
Yeah.
All right. You just won a trip to London. What are you going to do there?
I would go and see like all the sites. I would see Big Ben and the
You want to see a
castle.
big clock tower and a castle.
Yeah.
That's the most exciting thing in the world.
Yeah.
No, it's a bullshit website. It's fucking shit. I can't think of anything I'd want to do in London. Go visit the fucking river and go to a pub. That's it.
Actually, go to pub. Go to pub.
But I know people that have moved to London. I've got friends who got like scholarships and stuff to go live in London, and they're just like, it's just a city. It's fine. It's just everything costs so much, and there's just people everywhere. And I'm like, you can do that here. It's whatever.
It's actually quite funny that the 5 top places on this list overall that they've ranked are all places that it's notoriously expensive to live. So London, New York, Paris, Los Angeles, and Sydney are all 1 to 5, and it's extremely expensive to live in all of those places.
I can see like if you take money out of the equation and you just go, okay, well, because obviously the expense and like, you know, how much it costs to just get there and get around and stay there takes a bigger factor in it. But if you didn't have to worry about money, something like going to LA would be awesome. Like if you didn't have to worry about how much it costs, but most people don't go there because it costs so much. Like people I know who went there recently for an influencer thing, were like, wow, this is really cool. We get flown out, we get hotels and stuff like that. They're like, but the food was so expensive. Like it nearly costed me the flights and food. It's like,
damn.
It's like, how do you eat? Where's the normal place to eat? It's like
That's why everyone in California who I see on YouTube and everything just eats Taco Bell all the time.
Because it's cheapest. It's like what we would get for like if you go out and get a steak and chips and whatever, that's like a $50 meal.
Yeah.
Minimum. You know.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's probably about that now for us anyway, so it doesn't matter. But you know what I mean, though. Like, Sydney's not interesting. Like that,
No.
it's fine if you can go there and you're not getting destroyed. Like you're not destroying your wallet in the process. Like
Yeah.
going there and walking the streets, doing a bit of shopping, having a couple meals, whatever, all totally fine. But like living there and like having like the excitement of stuff to do and whatever, I can't see it. Like I'm biased, obviously, because I live in Melbourne, but Melbourne has fucking shit on every week, like always.
Mhm.
Even last night, we went. Last night, yeah, it was last night. Last night
Yeah.
we're in the city, and I'm just like, look at that, there's a festival on. Which I was like, I don't know.
That was a Buddha festival, by the way.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
fucking Federation Square's just got all this fucking lights and shows and people dancing and
Red
music
Square
playing
always
and
has
stuff
some
like that.
cool shit on.
We weren't going to it. Mind you, we had to cut through the 100,000 people going to the MCG to watch the football last night
Because Dreamtime at the G was on.
just so we can go see a concert at the Forum. It's like there's shit going on all the time in Melbourne. Like like this is the thing that I always say is like, yeah, sure, I could move to the country and I could work in my same field and I could probably buy 15 acres for the same amount of money that I'm paying to rent my shoebox. But I'd be bored as fuck. There'd be nothing to do. That's it. There's not enough shows on Netflix to keep me entertained. All right, I need to get out there. You know, and I say it like it's a joke, but it's the truth. Like if I wanted to be the person who watches commercial television as my highlight of the day, I would go insane. I need
I
stimulation.
know. The bulk of my entertainment in Sydney was I joined the Sydney Nerd Girls group and like went out for dinner with them a lot. And we would sit up in the second story Starbucks and knit while playing Pokemon Go at the Pokestops there. And
See,
that's
hang
the
on,
highlight.
hang on. That's sad in itself, right? The
Because I was knitting.
and playing Pokemon Go was your highlight of Sydney, right? But I know the truth is actually more fishy.
What?
Your obsession with fish.
My obsession with fish. How could I forget? Yeah, I got really obsessed with fish keeping when I was living in Sydney because I wanted pets, but I wasn't allowed like a pet. So I befriended the owner of the fish store that was like 200 meters from my house, and I would be there like every day looking at fish, buying fish, talking about fish. And I made really good friends with this fish guy. And then he would like board my fish for me, and like I would take sick fish from him, and it was just
She was living in a was it what you're above?
I was above a laundromat, so my floor would vibrate constantly. And it was dipping in the middle, so I thought I was going to fall in.
Shoebox above a laundromat full of fish was your Sydney experience. And when you were not there, you were knitting, playing Pokemon Go.
I had 4 fish tanks in this room. It made the
Were they big
window
ones?
Stupid. No, they were
Sydney!
quite small. They were like maybe 15 liters each.
Sydney, best place to live in the world.
Yeah. I have to say, like, in my experience, dating in Sydney was a lot worse than dating in Melbourne as well.
Oh, I take that as a compliment.
No, like, I mean, like, dating
Get yourself
apps
a
and
catch
shit.
right there.
Hey.
Dating apps is sort of what I mean. Like, the more, like, I'm trying to actively find someone to date and, like, date them and go out with them and stuff. I met a lot more weirdos in Sydney than I ever did in Melbourne.
Imagine
And then
weirdos.
obviously, like-
everywhere.
Obviously, Eladi doesn't count because I didn't meet him on Tinder or like OkCupid or anything like that. I met you on the internet on GTARP of all fucking things.
It's the Tinder of this generation, let's be honest.
Role playing.
Let's be honest.
But yeah, no, I had much better experience coming home and just happier, just having so much more to do and go out and like.
Melbourne's
see and-
excellent. Like I don't think there's anyone who will ever say that Melbourne's not a good place to visit or live. Like in general, it's fucked that it's getting so much expensive, but generally speaking, it is a fucking
nice.
awesome place to live. And yes, there's some. If you so heart set on must owning your own land and house and can't afford it, so you go for the absolute entry level house and land package, you're probably going to be in a rough neighborhood. But what do you expect?
Well, you moved to Adelaide.
No, that's where you go to die.
I'll tell Bajo you said that.
He doesn't. Yes. Yes. Let's just leave that at that. Anyway, but you know what? You know where Bajo was leaving? Sydney.
Sydney. Yeah. That's what I mean.
So it's fucked. Anyway, that was a great little clickable thing that I saw that got very heated and done. We we do need to wrap up. We are on time, but there was one other thing that I just dropped in our little channel because there's a little thing that I saw which made me just giggle to myself.
Is this about the fat monkey that died?
No, not the fat monkey that dies.
Oh.
That was 2 a.m. thoughts. Don't worry about that. This
Okay.
was labeled one of the greatest ads to ever air on TV. But the whole premise of it is there's this big white bloke, old guy, normal guy, and his name's Michael Jordan. So that every booking that he rocks up to, or every time he orders a pizza, people like come up and then like he opens the door and like, oh. Because he's not Michael Jordan. Everyone expects him to be the Michael Jordan. But he's
This
just.
must be how Michael B. Jordan feels
So
whenever
this
he
is
rocks up.
what I thought about was like how many people get like a full celebrity name and then just constantly run into people being disappointed it's not who they thought was coming.
I mean,
There's a scene in the ad where like he's at the restaurant, they're like bringing out the nice wine, and the waiter's like, no. Oh man,
That's pretty good.
it's very clever. I've never thought about that before, but it would absolutely work like that. It probably work in like I could just think of that exact thing, like people being like calling their mates or whatever. It's like, yeah, man, I just got this Uber Eats delivery to take me. I'm going to deliver this to Katy Perry or whatever. And then they get there and it's just someone called Catherine Perry.
Yeah.
Never thought of it before, but yeah, I saw that ad. I'm like, that's pretty fucking funny. That's clever.
It is.
But yeah,
pretty
the
good.
Michael Jordan one is very good.
That's like when he's in Space Jam 2. They're like, we found Michael Jordan, and in walks Michael B. Jordan. He's like, oh. Wrong Michael.
I might get some flack for this, but I actually prefer Michael B. Jordan. I've been kind of fanboying on him a little bit lately.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's a
Fucking-
nerd.
He
You
is
like
good.
He's
He's
good.
good.
Yeah, and I've literally on the walk home yesterday, I was explaining to Shelby why Creed is so good. So good.
I just want everyone have to, obviously you listen to this podcast. Obviously, I get lectured about different media all the time.
We literally, I've joked about this a bit, but seriously though, if we ever this podcast isn't working out, I'm going to immediately start a new podcast where we just talk about a movie and force Shelby to watch.
No! It sounds like torture.
All we'll do is be like, hey, have you seen this movie? And then everyone will be like, yep. And then Shelby will be like, nope. I'm like, all right, we know what we're doing.
God.
We are seeing Transformers, which means Shelby has to be educated in the ways of the Transformer. He's only seen 2 movies. And when I asked her what the last one you saw was, your answer was, the one with Michael Bay did it.
Yeah, with the Transformer with the big testicles.
I think that speaks volumes as to how much Shelby has seen from Transformers.
Yeah.
I've recently watched all the Transformers movies again. They do not hold up, so don't bother doing that. If you are interested in seeing the new Transformers, just watch Bumblebee, because they technically reboot the series in Bumblebee. And this is the new movie is set in the Bumblebee universe. And old mate fucking Michael Bay is no longer exploding Transformers. He's out. And the new director is the director from Creed 2. That's why I'm
Yay.
excited about Creed.
Oh, yeah.
So very excited for that. I think it's still a week, 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks away for the Transformers thing. So we'll have another episode before we get to talk about that in detail. But looking forward to it. But we should really wrap things up. So we should talk about other things that we're looking forward to. Shelby, let's start with you.
Hello, it's me. I've been raising money for charity, playing Subnautica, letting people ruin my game. Shell Bunny on Twitch, and then Shell Bunny _ on Twitter and Instagram, where I post my adventures, because we went to a concert last night. There's concert pictures up there and stuff. And I'll hopefully be doing my charity cooking stream maybe next week. I'll announce more stuff about that on Twitter to come. And yeah, should be fun.
Next week when? Saturday? Sunday?
I don't know yet. I'll announce it
Tuesday?
on Twitter. I said I'll announce it on Twitter. I'll tell them.
Tame, what have you been up to?
Why are you looking at me like that?
I'll probably stream that Shadows of Doubt. I've been getting right into
Fucking
that.
oath, Shadows
Been
of Doubt.
fun, yeah.
I turned when you, I think yesterday? Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
I had it up while I was like just eating and shit. And I was like, I'll just put it up, just support you and stuff. And then I just found myself just watching for hours while you were just basically breaking
Trying.
into everyone's house and like looking around and searching. Like I had
Barges
no idea
in
what
the
you were
door.
actually meant to be doing, but you just like you're like an information gremlin just going around.
That's
Because
what
I
the
was
game
trying
is
to- 'cause-
like.
They don't give you enough information to find the actual person. So I was just like, wherever she worked, where they lived, I just went everywhere.
Stalk them.
Yeah, And then that's what I was telling Shelby is like when I actually found the person, I went through the cameras and seen like there was someone at both murder scenes twice.
Ah.
So then I went to all the shops and looked at all the sales records, and then I was like, I found you
I think that's when I was watching.
because
yeah,
they buy poison. So I was like, it's you. I
Oh.
know it's you.
that game
And
is
then,
so
yeah.
insanely just like in depth. Like you would never
It's
think
only
of it.
going to get crazier. The dev has some great roadmaps planned. So
I was telling Shelby like the way I arrest them is I knock on the door. When I see it's them, I shut the door and then barge the door and knock them out.
it's a legit strat.
Chuck the handcuffs on them. I'm out of there.
That's what we're talking about. Where you just drop kick doors to fucking.
Yeah.
As soon as you see them
Yeah, it's
opening it.
intended mechanic. It's great.
Fucking hell.
So good. So I've been rocking that. It's been
Hell
fun as.
yeah. I am going through all my milestone streams, which I've got lots of things to do. We finished the Family Guy game yesterday. The jokes were very poor taste. I forget how actually offensive some early Family Guy is, because it was like, oh, wow, ooh, I don't know if you could say that.
Yeah.
But we did finish that. I finished Tears of the Kingdom. Been playing Lego 2K Races.
Such a good
No,
game.
2K Drive. I always get that wrong. I get it
Yeah.
mixed up with Lego. So 2K sent me a key to play it, and fuck me, it's a game. It's addictive, but also it's not like Mario Kart where you just eventually just become OP and just you lap them constantly because they're just sort of dumb or whatever. Nah, these fuckers are on you constantly. It is stressful. I'm like sweating on the control pad and shit.
I've had that too. Like the little, I guess it's a bit more balanced than Mario because like the stuff that you pick up and like the tools.
They don't back off. They just fucking on you the entire race.
You get like maybe 1 second of lead time out of using those tools, and it's rough because that immediately goes away. And it's kind of fun though because
It's so fun. And like things like
Yeah.
you get shot, so you lose, like your Lego vehicle starts to break up, and then you run into other things and break them up and steal their parts to make your car fixed again. It's just
Yeah, so you
fucking
rebuild
big
it.
brain. The Lego shit is so good. It's such a good game. And then like if you're a nerd about Lego, you can literally get your IRL like Lego instructions and build shit in the game in the Lego engine
Yeah.
and drive it around and vice versa.
You can build whatever you want, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, so it's good. There's going to be a lot of creations. Haven't seen any penises yet. I don't know what's going on internet. You better get on that. But yeah, I've been playing. That's a lot of fun.
TTP.
Exactly. But it's like, yeah. So we'll be playing that. I don't know if we'll go back to play it. I think we're gonna Duke Nukem probably this week. We're gonna go through and play that from old classics. But yeah, it's
Used to love Duke.
Love Duke. I think we're gonna do probably Duke Nukem Forever. I think that's probably
Yeah.
the cringiest one.
Yeah.
And then if we finish that, maybe some 3D or something like that. But yeah, so we're playing mini games. I don't think there's much out. I think Golem's out this week.
You still haven't played Jedi, the new Jedi game.
Oh, I don't. Look, shut up. If you say it right, and then the machines hear it, and then I get recommended videos on TikTok, and it gets spoiled for me. So you
I'm
don't
sorry.
mention the S word
No,
or the
I won't
J
say it.
word in this house until I get time to go play that game, which
Won't
I
say
do
it.
have to play it on hardest difficulty because that was a charity milestone that I regret, and also I have to play Elden Ring. That's all I'm
Good
going to
luck
say
with
about that. I watched many people play Elden Ring. I still don't know where to start. So that's going to be fun. Anyway,
Just start.
thanks for hanging out, everybody. You can come and see us stream live every week, 6 p.m. on a Sunday on twitch.tv/ZombiesLvBacon. Otherwise, we're on all other platforms, usually Monday morning. And you can subscribe and like and leave comments and stuff like that. We have been getting some very random comments lately, but if we get any cool comments, might even mention them on the show. So yeah, but other than that, you have a great week. Thanks for hanging out, and see you all again next
have
week.
Some custard.
Don't
Yeah. Peace.
Bye.
wear custard.